some announcements. Please remember that part of your grade for this class is your report on service, right? And so please don't forget to get that into me. I did have somebody ask me if coming to class counted as service. I said no. Okay? We need to be actually doing service outside of this class. Question, yes?
Do we need signatures for all or any of the work we do, or can we just say we did this work and take them out?
What I need to know is that I'm going to have to trust you. This is what you did. Could be more than one thing. I did this, and this, and these 3 hours. And if you work with somebody who's sort of supervising you, just get them to sign and verify. So it doesn't have to be a long report. Just that basic information. Yes.
If you did volunteer and did get signatures, though, you can still put that forward.
I'm sorry.
I did volunteer before I knew I had two signatures, so I didn't get signatures for any volunteer work I did. You want to go back and try to find those people and get signatures?
As long as it's not the same. Yes. Okay, any other questions on that? Okay. Do you remember to get that in because it's a fair portion of your grade? It's a fair chunk of your grade. Okay, just again, the reminders. I still see people taking their cell phones, leaving the class to answer a call. Okay? No cell phones, please put your cell phones away. Please do not receive or send a text or call during class. Put it out of sight, please, your cell phone. Okay? You can survive for 25 minutes or 35 minutes without the use of cell phone. Please respect that. Okay? Please also respect the fact that you don't get up and go out of the classroom. It is disruptive to the people presenting and to your classmates. So it's not just about you and your need. Think very clearly about how you influence other people. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And of course, no computers, you're taking good notes. These notes become important in the final exam, as you recognize on the midterm. So please, yes. Depends what sort of mood Dr. Dunker and I are in. No, it'll be primarily the second half of the class. It'll be much the same format as the midterm. So you'll hand in the first part, and then the essay part, you get to use your notes in the exam. And the exam will be in the gymnasium, and not here. There will be, 3 hours for the exam. Some people a lot. But very much like patterning of the nature. Answer your question? Okay. Yes?
Are we allowed to print off links for the exams? If we type a note after we write them, can we print off that and then take those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if you've
have our possibly like a computer to the exam.
yeah. So if you have, print them off so you have them there. So because you probably won't be allowed your computer, but you will be allowed your notes. So yeah, indeed, that'd be a smart move. Okay. Today we bring you 2 presenters, okay, from the School of Education. How many of you are headed for education? Aha, see, your future professors. Both of them, I won't, probably shouldn't tell you how long I've known this person, Dr. Butler. His father and I are good friends, so I know stories about him, but I won't tell you. And Dr. Kiers has come into the School of Education out of a background of really stressing the importance of outdoor activity and physical activity and the outdoors and the impact that has on learning. And so I shudder to think how active he is and puts me to shame. So, but they're both excellent professors. They've got a very interesting session lined up for you. I have reminded them that at about halfway through a 10-2 break, you do get to go outside, and if you need to make that call, you may. So, Dr. Kiers and Dr. Butler, all yours.
Well, we planned on just introducing ourselves a little bit, but my job is it. Now, I'm going to tell you that I've been in the School of Education for 14 years, so I've figured out a little bit how to teach, but there's always more that I can learn, and so let's even this group here, where most of you are not education students, is pushing me to think a little bit different and to teach a little different. Let me just tell you that I actually got my first degree at Berlin, and then went to St. Louis and got a chiropractic degree. Worked there for 5 years in Illinois and in Washington State, and then came back. Was silly enough to come back to Canada and get a doctorate in education. Now I'm teaching education. But even more than that, I've had 3 girls. One of them had actually also graduated from Berlin now. He's got a master's degree in international finance. So these are some of the things that led me to talk about the subject that I'm going to do today. Let's see, anything else I want to talk about?
All right, so my name is Kiers. I've been in this department for 3 years. Prior to that, I was in the outdoor pursuits or outdoor leadership department, teaching rock climbing and backpacking and so on. So that's where I just moved this way, and we still go outside and do teach how to teach outdoors. I grew up in Ontario. Anyone here from Ontario?
No, sure.
Yeah, and I always use it. I'm so sorry. So
Okay.
Right on, right on. If you're from Ontario, you may have heard of the massive metropolis of Caledonia. That's where I grew up. Yeah, you have. I was born in Hagersville, even a smaller town. It has 1 stoplight. I was there recently. It still has 1 stoplight only. So I grew up on the farm, and from there, went to Southern University to take education. And so I graduated from Southern twice, not because of any reason except I took elementary in, and then a master's in education as well. So I have 2 daughters as well. One is in Australia right now, and one is California. So that's where mine is. And I'm here. So it's a lot colder. So I think we're ready for our next piece. Go ahead, Sam.
We just want to give you a little heads up of what we're doing today. One of the first things we're going to do is go outside.
I heard one day.
We'll come back in here, we'll attack some questions. We're going to get you guys to work in groups a few different times. And then we'll actually talk about some of the definitions and terminology that we would like you to carry with you guys.
All right, so without any hesitation, you may want a jacket. I'm going to grab mine. And we're going to head out the front door. So I'll meet you. Follow me. Again, in case you're a little frozen outside, I'll link what we're doing. We feel the communication piece amongst ourselves, and let's just take it to the campus here. Communication and talking amongst ourselves is a critical piece of faith, sharing faith, and integrating it within our lives. So within this classroom, and I'm not taking a poll of hands, but there are numerous faith groups. So now I've used two words here. I said, talk about having faith, and now I'm talking about faith groups, or faith traditions is sometimes used as well. So within this group here, there are numerous faith traditions. Let me change the wording to that. There are numerous denominations or belief systems. Let me use that even broader within this group right here. And we're very aware of that. Here in the School of Education, we know that many of our students are not Seventh-day Adventists, and we're a Seventh-day Adventist university. And we have great conversations within our class based on the differences amongst our faith beliefs. Does that make sense? Or our faith traditions. So we have a number of ways of looking at how faith is. But that communication piece is really important. Faith all by yourself is a challenging thing because as a Christian, my faith is in God. So suddenly there's already two, although it's a trinity, I believe, so put us as four. However you want to look at that. But you can't easily have a faith all to yourself. It's a faith in something. And that communication piece is really important between myself and God. And then amongst my community. All right. So I used to teach elementary school, junior high. Across the road, actually, I was there for 9 years, teaching grade 8. Junior high sciences, I focused on grade 8. At the start of every year, there was a staff meeting, and I dreaded it every time, because I knew the topic was coming up as to who would take which month to serve hot lunch. And all of us teachers had to choose a month to serve hot lunch. So some people would choose like February, they'd like have a Valentine's themed hot lunch. I just kept my hand down until the very end. I was like, I'll take whatever there is. Because making food was not something I do well at. To give you an example, my first 3 years of teaching in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, I brought the exact same lunch every day. There's two options. Sometimes I combined them, or had them separate. But for all 3 years, I would either eat 2 rolls of Ritz crackers, I used to come with the rolls, and that was my lunch, or a can of mushroom soup. You think that's gross? Sometimes I didn't have time to cook it, so I would just eat it out of the can and then drink the water afterwards and mix it up with myself. Some people tell me I still eat like a college student. What I'm saying is, hot lunch was not my forte. And then I did it different than the other teachers as well. They would ask some room moms, hey, could you make the hot lunch for us? They'd sign up for spaghetti or something. And then they'd get a few of the moms and dads too, but it was always moms, to cook it while they taught, and then they would serve it, and that was hot lunch for their class. That was their responsibility. Not me. I took all my grade 8s to the kitchen. Wow. The whole entire class to the kitchen, and we made hot lunch together. It was an event. I passed out knives, we chopped. And so for this particular hot lunch, I signed up, I could choose what I want to serve. I chose to serve burritos. Sounds really simple. So you can order a burrito. That sounds really like it should be that way. Because of my knowledge, I was like, of food, I chose to serve deluxe burritos. Every person in the school, so 200 students or 180, whatever it was, I'll just say 200, they could all choose their own stuff to put inside. Individual chosen whatever they wanted. There was a long list, and they check off all the things, onions, tomatoes, sour cream, and they would choose what they were individually made burritos. Sounds really simple. But then I learned, as we chopped up all the stuff, I had all the orders. We learned that they would come, I thought they would come and they would just line up and I would make them as they came. I was like, no, we'll just come and take the tray for our class. So we'll take the grade 7 tray and we'll take them all. So then I panicked, and there's a class, we discussed how we'd solve this problem, so we started making the burritos based on the orders. Mushroom or whatever is in the burritos. And so we put the first one there, and it was George's or whoever it was. And after we got to about 10 of them, we're like, uh-oh, which one's which? So then we discussed as a class, we problem solved together. We took the list, the order sheet, photocopied it, and they were just like slips of the name and then all the things you ordered, name and what they ordered. And I got the cutting board, the cutting machine out, and some kids started cutting up all the names into strips. I was like, perfect. So then we put the burrito there, put the name on top of the burrito, the little strip of paper. No problem, it worked really well until one of the kids rushed by to get something, and all the papers blew up, and I'm like, oh no, that's not working either. So we brainstormed as a class. We opened the burrito, stuck the name inside, and closed it with the name sticking out the top. But we made the burritos so early, they were warm and ready and lovely, but we had to make them an hour early, and they started getting cold, so we brainstormed as a class. Let's put them in the oven. So we turn the oven to 400 degrees. Put the burritos in. We're going to be talking about communication and how important those names and information was. I baked them for the hour while they're waiting. And when they came out of the oven, we gave them proudly to the kids who could no longer open the burrito to take the names out. They were totally baked into the burrito. And that day, the entire school across the road, College Heights Christian School, ate their order, ate their name, ate the entire thing. We had no idea what to do about that except just eat it if we wanted. Clear communication. Having that clear communication, whether it's on a burrito or in life, but that communication piece is a critical piece to us as humans. And I don't think we emphasize that enough sometimes. And you guys are coming in freshman year, you make an important piece to this campus. And that communication amongst yourselves, I see you guys joke around outside, you blame people for the wrong day of the month, so on, whatever that is. Yeah, we're pointing at you.
No, why are you looking at me?
But with it is a communication between yourselves and the professors, yourselves and the faculty and staff, and the administration as well, how we communicate. Now let's bring it to the side of faith and communication, and how that works, and the importance of being able to talk freely and openly, safely, about our belief systems. We do it. I stand in front of my class, and just like you guys right now, you have to sit here and listen to me. So I can talk all I want, and I have a captive audience, and that's really awesome. But what I more prefer is a dialogue, a communication, which is a two-way piece, a back and forth piece, about our differences. I love to know the differences about people. And that communication piece, just like in our burritos, is that critical piece. I thought they were good.
All right, so Dr. Kiers has talked for quite a while. It's now somewhat your turn to talk a little bit. This is a fairly large group, so for us, it's going to be difficult if we have any kind of dialogue like this. Whatever. How many there are in front of me here, that's really tough. So we're going to break you into groups. How are we going to do this? Should I let you create your own groups?
Yeah. Should we do a small break now or right after this activity since we're outside? We do it right after the activity.
Right after the
You guys okay with that since we were just outside?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, just making sure we're good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you know, education students, teachers should pay attention to time. Okay, so I'll let you self-select, but truly, we're going to walk around to make sure that you're actually participating a little bit. Groups of 4 or 5 is good. Anything larger than that, and then people aren't going to participate. I'll show you what the questions are, so hang on. Don't be finding your buddies just yet. And worse than that, I'm going to start asking, once we're done, I'm going to ask you to report back to the group. All right? So we're going to break into groups. In those groups, we're going to look at some questions. And then after we're done, we're going to...
Are you ready? Show us the questions.
Okay. So I'm gonna challenge you and your group to determine or figure out what faith is. And learning. Alright? And again, how they might be connected. And so afterwards, we're gonna talk about that. So, alright, get find your group. Find your groups. I'm gonna talk a little bit. I have 3 volunteers to help explain what their group came up with. All right, I'm gonna go with yours and yours, and then way in the back row, okay? You're gonna clean it up. Clean it up, okay? Bring it home. Bring it home, that's right. Because what we're gonna report from each of these groups is not incorrect.
So we talked about faith being something that you have when you trust someone implicitly almost. You can trust what they're saying, or having faith in a religious tendency. Like faith is a belief or understanding that like you can't see something, but yet you still have faith in its existence. And we talked about what is learning? The ability to put new information in your head and to understand and comprehend and to be able to explain that to others. We talk about how they're connected. We might learn differently than people that have no faith or a different faith than we do, and how we have faith in where our information comes from while we're learning. We trust the sources where we're learning these different things, and that's how we connect to faith.
Good, thank you. Give her a little.
I would like to talk about what is faith. So it's like your trust towards any concept or religion. So it's like you having commitment to and you're believing in something. And I guess learning is a collection of knowledge. You're accepting new information and concept in your head, understanding it, being able to explain it to others. Like it's just not like you're just remembering it, you're just actually understanding it. And how are they connected? So for us, faith doesn't make us question about God, His existence, or your abilities. It just makes you trust God or trust yourself. It gives you a driving force to move forward and develop and bring forth commitment.
All right, so there's slightly different understandings of it, and I think that's positive. How about in the very back row, the trouble between the hard-working people in the back row?
According to the Bible, faith is the substance of things hoped for but not seen. So like faith is something you just have to believe. Like your evidence is what doesn't exist in some, like to other people, but you know your evidence is it's just a matter of belief, and like the more you put your faith to the test, the more you use your faith, the more you learn that the more you learn it, the more you can grow in your faith. So that's how you get connected.
That was bad.
Because you can, the more you use your faith, the more you can put your faith to work. If you know what I'm saying?
Yes. This is true.
So,
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so we kept you a little bit longer than normally the first part, but yeah, Noel, make your
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, be very strict, there's a lot of things to cover, so don't take longer than 5. Okay, thank you for being prompt. Appreciate it. Put your addictions away now. Okay, away.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Okay, notice away. Thank you. Yes.
All right. Thanks for your definitions of faith, and as we learn to talk about how it's integrated. I want to say this, I value the fact that there are so many faith traditions. Was it a couple years ago I sat down in my brother's church, the Christian Reformed Church in Winnipeg, and I just joined him. I was doing a youth rally. I used to serve in youth ministry. And so on Sunday morning I went and sat with their family, and the truth is, he has the same faith in God as I do. There's another way of saying and using the word faith. We are from different faith traditions, but his faith is similar to mine. Sometimes I think his faith is stronger than mine. He's such a strong Christian, such a strong belief in God. Let's have a look at the definition of faith here. Here it comes. Something that is believed, especially with strong conviction. And I like that idea. I have a very strong conviction about my faith. And I don't want you to get mixed up, and this is where I want to clarify that. Don't get mixed up with faith and knowledge of the Bible or core beliefs, but just the raw faith in for me, in who God is. My belief that God is there, and so on. So some people would say the fundamental beliefs are their faith. No, that's a belief. But my faith goes way beyond what I believe. Does that make sense? It's that strong conviction that I have. And my beliefs are here, and they're important to me, but my faith is what really is who I am. My faith and so I want to portray that to you as well. It's a complete trust. A firm belief in something. That's another great way of saying that. For which there is no proof. Oh, that's even beautiful. I can't always prove. And let me take it from a Christian side of it. Let me go right to the creation. I wasn't there biblically that 6,000 years ago to say this is what happened. I can read about it, but the whole creation story is about 2 pages long. There's a lot that happened during that time that I can't explain on those 2 pages of a grand story that could take a great book to write. And yet, with no proof, I have a strong conviction and a belief that that's what happened. Does that make sense? I like the idea with no proof and strong conviction. A belief and trust in God is where I stand on my faith. And my faith has changed over the years. And it's had stronger convictions and less strong convictions at different times in my life when I question my faith. And that's okay to question our faith. And I would say this, our faith will grow as we question it. It'll grow as well. Let me look at one more thing here. Hebrews 11 verse 1, faith shows the reality of what we hope for. It's the evidence of things we cannot see. Martin Luther, faith is a living, bold trust in God's grace, so certain of God's favor that it works, that it would risk death 1,000 times trusting in it. John Knox, faith is a firm and certain knowledge of God's benevolence, that word always twists my tongue out, towards us, founded upon the truth of the freely given promise in Christ, both revealed, my reading's late, hard this time of day, to our minds and sealed upon our hearts. Some really important pieces of what faith is, and it's not a new thing. Faith is a long tradition of what people have looked towards and define God as, the God of their life and what they believe. And again, with the different beliefs within this group, there's probably more commonalities amongst our faith than there are differences. And that's kind of a cool thing to realize, that we have so many commonalities in how we view God and the earth and so on. Slow transition, but there it is. If you'll notice, he is the orange squares. I'm the green triangle. Did anyone notice that? Well, there you go. All right,
Yeah. So, we're just going to talk about my faith a little bit too. So, I have faith. I have faith in many things. Kevin, wherever he is, there he is. Was talking about his faith in God. I have some faith in some of the things I've studied. I have faith in my father when I interact with him, my mother. It has to do with the people I trust. Likely when you guys are learning too. Do you have faith in your chemistry teacher?
I hope so.
Biology teacher? Math teacher?
My chocolate success teacher.
It is really difficult if you don't trust your professors, your teachers. You start doubting them. I've seen students doubt. I would encourage. I can talk about education here. That's a totally different thing. How about the media that you watch? Do you trust it? TikTok, every time I flick up, the next little TikTok telling me the truth. Just, YouTube, Fox News, CNN, Trump. There is media I trust. Media can be a book too, right? You want to go that direction? Hey, just for fun, how many people can start a TikTok app and close it within 3 minutes? Okay, how about this last one here that I've listed? My faith impacts my experiences. What I believe, how I live my life, the things that I trust, those are the things that are filtered through and cause my experience to maybe be different than yours. of certain cities with my wife, I don't feel uncomfortable. She does. I have a different faith in people around me, partly because I outweigh her by everything else. Yeah, our experience that you live day to day is impacted by your faith and your belief, and as Mr. Kiers has been talking, how we communicate with each other. I encourage you guys to be careful with that. And it's certainly, my faith definitely impacts how I live my life, and who I am. What I do at 12 o'clock at night, or at 6 o'clock in the morning, all right? The choices I make. And I'm hoping you guys see that about yourselves as well. What you believe impacts your experiences, and that, of course, those all impact your choices. All right. Let's, oh no, I think this is a green triangle.
I should have told them. They wouldn't go. All right, vision. We're looking at the university and how the university impacts what drives us as professors and what therefore drives you as students. So the vision is to provide a transformational university experience that empowers students to serve others and share hope. I think it's important we understand the visions and goals of the university that you signed up for, that you're here for, because that affects actually what approach we will take. We actually hear these every once in a while and are reminded of our major goals of what we do. And I'll read it again: to provide transformational university experience. So transformational meaning change. If I have a transformational experience, it's something that changes me within. And maybe even a belief system or a faith, I'm not sure. That empowers students to serve others and share hope. And those are the two important keys there. When we look at faith and learning, it's under the umbrella right here that you see here. Then the mission is transforming lives through whole person education and service. Again, we have the transformation or transforming lives. And that's an important piece. My two daughters, one just graduated this last year, and one is about to graduate with a doctorate really soon here in the summer. And their university experiences were transformational. They enter young like you guys do, and they leave with much more experience and personal views of how they want to view the world around them, how they want to view their Christian walk and their Christian experience or their faith traditions. And that's a really important concept as you go through university, this transforming through education service. And the service piece is critical. So they both took a year off and served as student missionaries. And that service piece was a critical piece of who they are today. So whether you take a year off, half a year off, or join the service groups that are on campus and work to serve others, even on campus here, all that makes a difference as to your view of the world and how you're going to view people for the rest of your lives, how you're going to think towards serving others for the rest of your lives. So in our profession here, we serve people. That's what we do in education. We serve students, and here it's you guys. Our goal is to have provide a space for transformational experiences for you within our classes, and your other professors have the same viewpoint as well. Birmingham University will educate students to think with discernment, believe with insight and commitment, and to act with confidence, compassion, and competence. And there's that belief piece, which is often related to the faith experience as well. What is your faith, and what is your belief, and so on. So as you go through the faith piece and understanding what that is, while you're learning, do consider how that affects your thinking going forward. We have one more that's still the core values. I think this is the last one. Birmingham University, with its roots and traditions within the Seventh-day Adventist Church, is committed to the ideals and visions found in the teachings of Jesus Christ. Therefore, it holds and models the following values. And so, as a Seventh-day Adventist university, we have these values that are coming up here that are important. Look at your belief, look at your faith, and see if there's anything in common that you have. As you take our university courses, including the religion courses, go into it with an open mind and see how that compares to your faith and your belief. Whether you're a Seventh-day Adventist or whether you're any other denomination, always evaluate that yourselves and say, hey, how can I learn from this experience? Even if it is something that's very different than your belief system right now, your faith values.
All right, so the core values that are leading Berman, excellence. Whoa. What does that mean? Okay, so this is a paraphrase from the website if you want to go check this out sometimes. Berman values graduate success, so we actually want you to succeed. Every single one of you. Even the education students. Alright, intellectual slope. Oh, exploration. So we're not expecting you to come in here and think just like us, but that you can wrestle with ideas and grow. Personal and spiritual growth, absolutely. That's why we have a university that's Christian. And a welcoming campus. One of the tough things with the first year students is to have a welcoming campus because you don't know a lot of people. Hopefully by now you've started to build some friendships. School of Education, we spend a lot of time together with the students. And by the time people leave, they're really good friends. I hope that's what you're experiencing in all your classes. The other thing is service. So I did hear that in this class you guys have a service project. Excellent. Ridiculous. How is that going to help you? That helps somebody else. Alright, so when we do this, it's basically to just encourage you guys to look outside of yourselves. Alright, there's a incredible focus on our grades, on our finances, and on the entertainment that we do. I'm hoping that as you guys move through the university here and do some of these, or have the opportunity to do some of these service projects, that you can see how you impact others around you. It's really cool when you help some people. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way, but every once in a while you can see guys and girls, their eyes open up, their hearts open up. It's awesome. I encourage you guys to look for that, not just jump through the loop of an assignment, which happens. Obviously, this is a SDA campus, a Christian campus. There's a reason why we have a campus, and it's not just another U of A or U of C, right, another public school. We're choosing to have a Christian campus here. So hopefully you're experiencing that as well. And we're modeling that as professors. And anybody else, administrators, one person was curious, is everybody developing Christian faiths here? Is that something that we should do in a Christian university? And I'm going to have to say yes. Otherwise, why have a Christian university? Anyways, integrity. We're getting really good at using ChatGPT and running it through secondary data to make sure that it's not obviously a AI-generated document. I hope not. Grammarly will help you with that to prove that it's your handwriting too. I'm gonna say that it's easier to create things with AI than to create it ourselves. I know that. I encourage you guys to strengthen your ability of critical thinking and creativity without just using prompts and tools like this. I'm not saying these are evil, but I really would hope that you guys grow. If you do too much of this, there might be a lack of growth. Anyways, and the last one here, community. I really do hope that you find a community. Alright? There's probably people here that don't feel like they found a community just yet. There are people here that you can match with. Maybe your department, because you care about the same things. All physics students will love physics, right? Because physics is the best subject. Yeah. Or math. Yeah. Right. Anyways, what I'm saying is you might find them in the discipline themselves, or in activities, the service you do, or in church. You know, community is one of the things that we're really hoping to build. All right. Student leadership is
faith and learning come together? What is the connection between your faith and your learning? Just jump back into your small groups again really quickly. Just have that conversation really quickly. The questions that are here. So go back to your groups really fast. And just look at the questions here. How can faith and learning come together in your life? In your college experience? And what is the connection between your faith and your learning? Go ahead. It's kind of a hard, deeper question. Go ahead.
Come together. The way to see how faith
I see you're in deep discussion at the back. That's awesome. We'll just wrap up here the next few minutes here. The idea of faith and learning is core and central at this university. And I hope you see that. One of the things I mentioned at the beginning is that communication piece. And just listening to you guys talk is kind of a nice thing for me to watch, for you to talk about faith. And I even heard some of you talking about your faith and your beliefs and your understanding of God. What I would hope for, what I really hope for as you guys go through these 4 years or whatever it is at university, is that you have those conversations with people who believe different than you, or the same as you, and have these friendly, safe conversations where you can talk openly about your faith. And I hope you feel that on this campus you can, even with your teachers, to question what they're saying sometimes if they do a worship thought, and just ask, hey, what does that mean? Or I don't understand that, or that doesn't make sense to me. Just have those conversations. I'm sure they wouldn't mind that at all within your classes. We want to wrap up with a couple of verses here and looking at what the Bible says about communication and faith. Again, linking those two ideas together. So I'll do the first one. They're not. I didn't identify who does which one.
This is definitely me.
Do you want this one? Go for it.
Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. But when I was your age, I definitely did not follow this instruction. Yeah, there was lots of love. But I would encourage you guys not to make the same mistakes I did at your age. Sometimes, take a breath, take a beat, take a breath, be slow.
This is the word I'm working on more, listen. Just to be able to listen to people versus talk at them and say, oh, this is what it is. But to actually just listen and understand people and just enjoy the listening side of things a little bit more. That's a skill that's not always practiced. And here's my verse. So faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. And there to get is, again, faith comes through hearing. Part of that communication piece and listening piece is that hearing piece. And so we just want to wrap up with that, and I'll have a word of prayer as we wrap up, but just before we pray, just to encourage you to have those safe and open conversations with each other as you sit and have meals together or sit in your classes, and do ask those questions, those difficult questions sometimes with your professors as well. Let's stand, and we'll have a prayer. It seems so official, and we'll stand up. Just before we pray again, we've really enjoyed our time with you guys, and thank you so much for joining us outside and being willing to be outside and breathe a little bit. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's pray. Father, thank you so much for each and every student that's here. I ask a special blessing on them and their lives. Lord, I ask for spiritual blessings on them so that they can question and understand their own personal beliefs and their own faiths, their own faith traditions. Bless them as they go through their evening. Help them to get their studies done, their work done that's required, but also to enjoy life a little